There are shows that simply entertain, and then there are those that get under your skin and start to live there. For me, Through the Darkness is exactly that kind of story. It's one of my all-time favorite series, and I plan on making several videos about its different aspects. But today, we're going to focus on one thing: empathy. Although in the case of the main character, Song Ha-young, that word seems far too simple. You see, for most of us, empathy is about sympathy. But for him, it's like a mutant ability from the X-Men. It's a true superpower, pushed to a dangerous limit. He doesn't just sympathize. For a short time, he becomes them. He feels their ancient humiliation, their sticky shame, their scorching rage, and most terrifyingly, their twisted, dark pleasure. And to understand how this power of his works, we need to descend to the place he goes every single day. Let's call this place the psychological underground. Imagine a huge metropolis. Every family, every school, every workplace produces emotional waste, unprocessed pain, suppressed aggression, shame. And since our society isn't taught how to deal with this, it all flows into an invisible sewer system, into this very underground. And it's in this toxic broth, in this darkness, that the ones we call monsters are formed from this concentrated pain. They don't appear out of nowhere. Society itself creates them, and then pretends they have nothing to do with it. Let's look at a couple of inhabitants of this underworld. The first one the series introduces us to is the man in the red cap. His entire life is one long humiliation at the hands of a mother who was ashamed of him. This childhood pain found no outlet. It festered inside for years, until it turned into a radioactive hatred for all women, whose very existence reminded him of his own worthlessness. He wasn't evil. He was a broken boy in a grown man's body, whose only way to assert himself was to inflict pain. Or take another, completely different example, the cold, calculating killer of the wealthy elderly. His trauma isn't direct violence. It's the poison of social contempt. The feeling that he is a nobody next to those who have everything. This envy and sense of injustice grew into a philosophy. He wasn't just robbing them. He was carrying out his own twisted judgment, destroying those who, in his opinion, undeservedly occupied a place in the sun. He felt not like a thief, but like a janitor, cleansing the world. And it is into this underground, to these creatures, that Song Ha-young descends. His method is unique. He isn't looking for evidence. He is looking for an entry point into their crippled soul. He listens, he absorbs, and then he begins to speak. He speaks not to them, but from them. It's incredible. He voices their most shameful thoughts, their secret justifications, the things they're afraid to admit even to themselves. This isn't an interrogation. It's a session of simultaneous existence in two bodies. He becomes them for a few minutes to pull out the truth. He voluntarily lets their poison into his veins to find the antidote. But such a power has a price, and it's horrific. Every dive burns him out from the inside. He stops sleeping. He flinches at touch. He loses his connection to reality, because his reality is constantly being contaminated by others' pain and others' filth. As Nietzsche said, "He who fights with monsters should look to it that he himself does not become a monster. And if you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you." And here we come to the most important point. The very power that allows him to see right through monsters is the same power that destroys him. And the series shows with great elegance exactly why. Because empathy without boundaries is self-destruction. To truly understand another, you must temporarily give up yourself. And when the one you understand is a monster, a part of it stays inside you, like radioactive dust. His crisis is not an agreement to become the abyss. It's a frantic escape from it. At a certain point, his own personality, his soul, begins to scream stop. He becomes physically disgusted by contact with this darkness. He loses his strength. He just can't do it anymore. For the first time, he snaps during an interrogation, losing his signature cold control. His desire to quit his job isn't a weakness. It's a desperate act of self-preservation, an instinctive urge to expel the poison from his system before it destroys him completely. But how does he cope with it? He was pulled out. He was pulled out by his boss, who saw not a monster, but a wounded man. He was pulled out by his team, who supported him and needed him. He was pulled out by his purpose, the memory of the victims, which reminded him what it was all for. His way of dealing with the crisis isn't to build a wall, but to hold on to the hands reached out to him. He learned to accept empathy in return. And don't rush to say this is just a story about a unique profiler. We all do this, just in microdoses. We let in our partner's bad mood and lose our own. We absorb a friend's grief and then can't sleep. We allow someone else's aggression to poison our day. We all walk the edge of this same self-destruction in the name of closeness. And that's probably all I wanted to reflect on today. Of course, this is just one of the many aspects of this incredible series. I love it dearly, and we will definitely return to it to talk about its other sides. For now, thank you for watching.